Welcome to Callaway Vineyard and Winery. My name is Regina. I'm going to be your tour guide today. Temecula is actually a Native American word. It means where the sun shines through the mist. We have a break in our mountains to the west that's known as the Rainbow Gap. This gap allows the cool coastal air to flow inland from the Pacific before it recedes in the late morning. This cool air combined with the warm air that we get from the east creates what's called a microclimate, or a climate within a climate, which is really ideal for growing wine grapes. That's why everyone's so successful at it in this little valley here. Ely Callaway was our founder. He planted the first 105 acres on this estate in 1969. The facility was completed in 1974, and we were the first winery to open our doors in Temecula. Our vineyards do require year-round care. In January, the crews are in the vineyard pruning back the vines to 2 cordons. This helps to eliminate any sucker vines or any larger vines that are going to strain the health of the vine. We see bud break about mid-March. After that, the crews are back in the vineyard trellising the vines up onto the little trellising system. The vines are all vertically trellised and trained to grow bilaterally or 2-armed. This allows for maximum sunlight and air circulation. It also helps to keep the fruit dry and mold and mildew free. We use a drip irrigation system. This helps to minimize the water usage and it helps to maximize the fruit flavor. The harvest season for Callaway Winery runs mid to late August through mid to late October. We don't use any machines out in our vineyard. All of our vines are hand-picked. We always harvest at night. This allows for optimum freshness, and this is also when the Brix level in the grapes are the highest, which is the sugar level. We want to preserve that sugar level, so once they're harvested, we bring them back here in gondolas. They'll drop them into the hopper here. The hopper will move them out the end. They'll go up this conveyor belt here and then drop down into that stainless steel box with the 3 black handles on it. That's called the destemmer. After the destemming process, the white grapes are then pumped up into the bladder press. Inside of that tank is a balloon and a screen type device that expands and contracts, and what this does is it pushes the berries up against the screen, extracting the juice. The juice will then get pumped into our cellar inside of a fermentation tank. Now with the red grapes, they will bypass the bladder press process, and we need all the skins intact on the red grapes in order to extract all of the colors for the red wine. So the red grapes will actually go through the destemming process and then get pumped right into the cellar hole. This is just one of the fermentation rooms that we have here at Callaway Winery. This room is actually not air conditioned. It feels like it is, but all the cold air comes from these tanks. These tanks are all individually cooled. They have their own temperature control units on them. Fermentation is a process where we add a winemaker's yeast to the grape juice. The yeast will start to feed on the natural sugars in the juice, which converts it to alcohol and carbon dioxide. When the red grapes come in from the crush pad with the skins intact, the heat that's created from that yeast will cause those skins to separate from the pulp, and they'll rise to the top of the tank, creating what's called a cap. So in order for us to extract all of the tannins and the juice from those skins, and the color as well, we do what's called a pump over process. So we'll take a hose type device and hook it to the bottom of the tank and then again to the top of the tank and flush the juice over and through those skins. Our red wines will ferment at about 80 to 85 degrees for approximately 2 weeks. The white wines will ferment for about 6 to 8 weeks between 50 and 65 degrees. The wines are very fruit forward, so we want to make sure that we go ahead and preserve that in the finished wine. This is one of the barrel rooms that we have here at Callaway. There are about 300 barrels in this room. We actually have about 3,000 barrels that are always filled with wine. We use 2 types of oak. We use French oak and American oak. The French oak will impart more smoky vanilla flavors to the wine, and they generally cost between $700 to $800 per barrel. The American oak will lend more spicy, piney, pine-like flavors to the wine, and the barrels will cost us anywhere from $300 to $400 per barrel. We use the barrels for about 8 years or 8 usages. After that time, we've pretty much extracted all of the tannins and all of the flavors out of the barrel, so we usually sell them off to the public after that. We get about 300 bottles of wine out of each barrel. We use a 60-gallon barrel, and there are 24 ounces of wine in each bottle. This will conclude our tour for today. I'd like to thank you all for visiting us, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.